I'm going to talk about an application. I will present it and I will explain how I build it and what is the background for that. Basically, the background for this application is this presentation here. Because I don't want to talk about my own topics, I create one topic which is maybe from current interest. Pixie is a picture generation tool which can be used from via WhatsApp talking, and then you get pictures generated. I will talk about the application case and what does it mean. What makes it unique is it's based on a local LLM. So all this information here is with regards of local hosted LLMs and the pros and the cons of this process as well. If you have any question in between, just raise a hand. I will try to see you. It's not too bright here, so I will be able to see it. Let me check if it's working. Okay. So just a brief introduction about myself. As you can see, I'm not so young as you are all. I'm 58 years old. My background is chemical and pharmaceutical industry. I'm also a chemist by education. My first AI contact was, I think, ChatGPT or Grok or something like that in 2024. I used this as a Google replacement, basically, as everybody does for the beginning, which is completely wrong. Then in 2025, I got an idea, you know, my background is chemical and stuff like that, so I built this software, Plytic. Plytic is a software where you can identify manufacturers in all B2B applications worldwide. So this means you want to create a food supplement, who is producing magnesium citrate originally, then you type in, I want to have this, and then you get a worldwide overview about this. This is a live search. It's not a fixed database behind. There are some AI things inside, but it's more for the analysis used, not for the content generation, because then you have all these hallucination issues. Then I had some time. I'm working currently on other stuff, trading systems you can see, but I had the weather was not good, and we have this. Tony asked me, hey Rene, do you want to talk about AI? I said, yeah. So I built Pixie, and I count the time, how long does it take until I have the result here I will show you today. Inclusive the presentation, it was about 3 hours altogether. So, from several meetings I had here in Paphos, I know about some of the application and what the challenges are, what the people are facing. What is the application behind is print on demand. Some people know this as t-shirt business. So when you're going to Amazon or Etsy in the shop and you want to buy a t-shirt with a nice picture, this is a kind of print on demand business. So somebody is creating the design, and when you press a button, then it's printed on demand, print on demand business. So it's a really true business. The competitive edge is very low. It's a low margin business, but nevertheless, it's a business you can start with without any investment. So it's quite interesting for people when they want to make their own business. So what they're currently doing or still doing, I mean, it's getting better more and more with AI. They put in, I want to have a cat doing this and this. Then you get a certain picture, stuff like that. It's sometimes not the desired what they want, but if they're more, let's say, advanced, and they do is in Canva or stuff like that. So basically, what they're doing is they need, on a daily basis, designs. Sometimes they're hiring designers. This is overestimated. The true costs are much lower, but okay. Turnaround, it takes days, or sometimes it takes long. Let's put it this way. And then we have this point here, background removal, because to print it on a t-shirt, all the background needs to be removed. In this language, it's called isolated. And then you have the demand for 10, 20 pictures, or even 50 or whatever. And then you can count, oh, it took me 5 minutes for this picture, and then you know I need to make 10, it's 50 minutes. Huh? So it's a lot of work. So the Pixie way, I used the WhatsApp interface, so you can talk to Pixie. I want to have this and this picture. I get this from GitHub, from OpenClaw. I isolated this element, integrated into Pixie. So I didn't code it, I just put this element in OpenClaw, you can talk, and that's the reason why I put this, and you can talk now with Pixie as well. This is very easy and convenient. The cost, because it's locally hosted, if you produce 10,000, 100, or 1, it's always the same, it's just electricity. Turnaround is about 2 to 3 minutes, depends what you require. You can say photorealistic, HD quality, and then the time is, let's say, more or 5 examples, then you get 5 examples, stuff like that. You can say isolated or non-isolated, yeah, you can, of course, automate this in a certain way. I have some examples what can be done with this application. From the current status, this is a very basic version. This means it generates a picture. But also I will show you the architecture, what could be done with that in a few moments. So what Pixie does, the current status. You can put a voice command or you can type, I want to have a black cat running on the moon, stuff like that, Then I have AI orchestra. I'm using here Gwen 2.57b, locally hosted. It's not a large LLM model. Very reliable. I like the Gwen series anyhow. It's a very good systems. Image generation is done through FluxDev. Also there are different systems available. And what, yeah?
Do you run FluxDev?
Sorry?
Do you run FluxDev?
Yes. Yeah, all locally. Then image background removal, BFNet, also there, these are just tools. When you are interested in that, you can get list of tools for a certain question. This is also the way of how I'm doing this. I'm starting always from a use case. This means an application. And then I'm going through the software architecture first. I have not started any code. For the software architecture, I'm usually investing at least 1/3 of my time. It's at the end just one piece of paper. But then you know exactly what the flow of information is and what you want, and what should each step should do. And the good thing is when you finish this, you can say, okay, write in software architecture of the current status. And when you then make them like this, and then you can see, oh, I got what I want. It's advice how I'm doing it. Also, it reduces what we heard, this discussion. You should not discuss with an AI. They should do it, what you want. Then it's delivered to WhatsApp. Cost, time, resolution can be adjusted. This is also a point. It's local and it's private. And with this privacy, also some other advantage will come. I will come to that because this application is for me an introduction to tell you what are the pros and cons of a local hosted LLMs. It's much more beyond than just making a picture, It's just an example. So this is the process. This is very important. You need to understand what should get solved, where you want to go. This means for POD business, I discuss with some people having this business, having this issue, what they need, what is the bottleneck, time, quality, and stuff like that. Isolation isn't a problem for different things. And then, okay, what can I do? And what is the most hurting problem? So this is, as I said, design of architecture. You can do this with a proprietary LLM like Claude or ChatGPT, but it's only about architecture. This means you make clear what comes in which state, what kind of, in this case it was clear that I want to make a local hosted systems, what kind of open source software is available for the use cases you have in mind. This you draw on the paper or computer, of course. WhatsApp, image out. This I define that, I want to have an all WhatsApp, because I like this, I will show you how it's working, we will do it live all together. You get a picture, and with this picture you can have different, what you can do with that. You can send email to somebody with a download link in a certain quality. This is just a short overview, but you can have here really a 4K resolution, even 8K is possible. What kind of open source tool exists? I got a list. I, of course, analyze them. What can they do in a certain quality? I made some quick tests for this, all the same for each step. And what can be run locally on my Mac Studio, which is my server. Actually, I need for this application in total just, I think, 35 gigabyte RAM. And my Mac Studio has 512, so it was no problem at all. So I made this design with Claude 4.6 at this time. And then I had the software architecture. I said, as I said, I invested at least 1 hour of these 3 hours was just architecture. Then I gave this architecture to Claude, build it. Done. Then, okay, there was some issues, you know, when I said, oh, we need to go to OpenClaw GitHub, extract the WhatsApp model. Okay, it needs 3 iterations, then it was done, but it was not like that, but it worked very well. Then you said, okay, it should be like this, and associate, test, fail, fix, repeat. I'm not a coder, but it worked relatively easy. For me personally, I'm not using the terminal, I'm using Visual Studio. Even I'm not a coder, I of course can understand sentences, and this is Python, is not so difficult to understand. But I'm not an expert on that. In the meantime, a little bit better. Okay, so you don't need to create a big thing, you know, I just did it by myself. It was 3 hours, I made really a counter, and 3 hours later it was finished like the status right now, even including the presentation, because when the presentation was done, I was in the coding session. Okay, I need a presentation, 10 seconds, it was done. This presentation we are seeing here right now. I made not any manual edit on that. When I'm building application, not the first, but the second question is always, AI is good to help, but it's also competitor. Everybody needs to understand doing this, especially such a low hurdle business like making a picture. Can AI replace this? Yes. So it's currently not possible, but it will not take long, and maybe in a couple of months they can be replaced. Canva, for example, is a good competitor for that. But when you want to use it in your shop and integrate it into your shop, then the added value, what you generate from the picture, is getting higher. You're building hurdles AI cannot replace. Your shop, your brand, whatever you have built in the meantime. This is a complete different story. I'm thinking in business opportunities, always. I'm not fancy, you know, oh, this is nice or whatever, I don't care. I only care, does it solve a problem or not? So you have a shop, speed to market, you can learn what sells, data pattern niche, and this is a very basic system as we have it right now. With this tool here right now, you can start building a true POD shop. You can start, but it's still a lot of work. So this means, and before we go into this detail, I want to go make a presentation, live demonstration. So what kind of picture we should request from Pixie? Any suggest?
Snowy puffs.
Pardon?
Snowy puffs.
Snow in Paphos. I can ask. Somebody else?
A logo for the meetup. A logo for this meetup. A logo for the meetup. A logo.
A logo. Okay, but then you need to make research. You know, we need to say what kind of picture we want to have. A logo for this meetup. I need to give context for this. You know.
Yeah.
A Pixie.
What?
A Pixie. I mean, it's the name. So.
What is it?
A pixie.
Ah, Pixie. Yeah, this. When you can see this. You see this? This was generated with Pixie. Pixie generated a picture from herself. Okay. So, as I said, the AI which is used is Gwen. I'm not sure if Gwen can know Paphos, but I will try. Good. Hey Pixie, please draw a picture of snow in Paphos, a city in Cyprus. We will see. So this is a point, you know.
Alles klar. Ich generiere jetzt ein Bild für dich.
Okay.
Das dauert ungefähr 30 Sekunden.
You can do much more, you know. You can let's say, based on the answer, you can embed it into your own feedback or whatever, you know. But this would be playing. This was not the purpose for that. Yeah, we will see. I'm not sure if Gwen knows it. I think most likely yes. I'm also curious. Usually so far I make pictures of this and this, but why not? It's a question, you know. Also the system, I mean, I'm using it in German and English, but it's multi-language. You can talk in Chinese or in Spanish or whatever with the system and it will understand, recognize it. But I'm not able to test it because I'm only capable of talking in German and English. So we will see. What can I say about this, the process? Yeah, what here currently is done, I mean, the software architecture, we are going, it takes 30 minutes, 30 seconds. I will have a look on the tablet parallel, so I know when this is done. Okay, I can see parallel is done. So we can use this time. I know the time is value for all of you. Here we are today. So very basic, you know. Also you can say, yes, I want to have 4 or 5 picture examples, no problem. But what can be done based on that? I have not the idea, the plan to do it. So you can make image to image. This means I can make a picture of you, send this picture to Pixie. Pixie is adding you in a Christmas environment or something like that. You can send it to Printify, Etsy, auto-upload, all that stuff. You can see, I'm successful. You can make this analysis in the shops. Is a good product running? You can make a trend analysis. And of course, generate all titles automatically on the content, what the picture is, what it shows, generate a title. Not bad, but the advanced version is this one. Here, for example, fine-tuned POD model. What does it mean? Has somebody generate pictures with generic AI like Claude, ChatGPT? Hands up. Okay. Have you been always satisfied with the result? I mean, when you say, for example, yeah, why? You said, I want to have a dancing human on the moon, but you have something in mind, and this mind you cannot transport, because you see maybe the arm is not like this, it should be like this. You don't like the color, you don't like the impression of the face, you have facing limitations. Basically, it means you are not in control what the result will be. You are not. You need to estimate, the arm should be like this, but Canva, for example, is not doing it. You need to try. After 100 times, maybe you have something you are okay with, but you never get what you really want to achieve. Here the point comes, local hosted LLMs, and also the picture generation process, you can adjust. It's more work. It's a lot of work to do it, but it's possible. You can, with a fine-tuned POD model, you can address this issue. The arm should be like this. I want to not have 6 fingers, I maybe want to have only 4 or 3. You can address all these tiny details with a local system because you are in control of the whole process. Big advantage. You can make a multi-shop automation. The picture is ready. Okay, let's see how it is. I'm not sure if this Paphos. Could be, yeah? I cannot recognize, I have not seen snow in Paphos so far.
That looks like Austrian.
I think the picture that it took is really old, like a lot of years ago before, because if you see the houses are not...
Let's put it this way, could be. Okay, any more pictures? Somebody want to have another picture? Because we have time, and then we're going back to the presentation. No? No picture? Okay.
I have one.
Okay.
Can I have a squirrel on cocaine with a shotgun? Yes.
Yes. Of course.
Is there a sensor model?
Hey Pixie, we need a squirrel on cocaine with a shotgun. Let's see what the result will be. I'm curious as well. All right. Yeah. Multi-shop automation, this means you can have shop as a POD business. When it's really your business, you maybe have shops in Etsy or in Amazon and all this different. You can make this automation for all shops. Picture generation, analysis, trend analysis, and as well the automation. You can do this as a service as well, you know. If you don't want to have this shop maintenance and all that stuff, you can work as a SAS, a service for those having these shops. But again, the margin is very low. It's about 4 to 5% what the people can get, maybe sometimes 10. Yeah.
I think you forgot some step like restrictions. If you're gonna put it in the internet so the other people can use it, you have to have restrictions what they can create. So they cannot create illegal things.
Yeah, I will come to this point when we talk about. Let me check. No, I forgot it. I had one slide with the details of the architecture with all models, because what you are referring to is a kind of quality control. Quality control here is done with Tesseract. This means the software identifying, is a Red Cross used in this picture? Is Adidas used? Is Nike and all that other stuff? This is brand recognition stuff, you know, that you don't fall into this trap. This quality control is also implemented here. So Pixie will not generate pictures with a brand issue from a legal point of view. This is important. With the quality about 99.2%. So this means there is a small gap remaining. It's not 100%. Yeah?
You have the running costs about €0, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the, let's say, system costs?
It depends what kind of local LLM you want to run. This means it depends on the application. For those, what I had in mind, I said, okay, I will take the largest one, what is currently available. I'm running it on a Maxute 3 Ultra with 512 gigabyte unified RAM. For this application, I just need 50. So you can configure, let's say, and what the system I bought is about 10K net. So, but if you would reduce it, you can have maybe 2, 3, whatever thousand. But the Maxutes are very suitable for that because they're using these ARM silicon devices, which is unified memory. It's super quick. It's good.
Is there a way to control the resolution of the picture?
Yes. You just can say high quality stuff, photorealistic, you can say 4K, 8K, and then it takes a little bit longer because the upscaling is done from Flux, and Flux has a tool where you can make this upscaling.
But you can do it in your current version?
In the current version, it's already possible. I just can say the picture 4K. I can basically type, when I say make snow in Paphos 4K, I just forgot it, but it's possible. Also, you can say isolate. One thing I want to show you, how to use Pixie, for example. I forgot it, of course.
There is no cocaine. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, you can see.
Okay.
White nose. Okay. So when you say, for example, help, right, then you get a description, you know, what you can do, what is the limitation, Also isolated, cosmic, anime, vintage. Vintage looks nice, you know. Very, I mean, I like this retro stuff. Up to 400 words. Yeah.
Can you customize the size of the picture? Like tell them to be these dimensions?
You mean in terms of size of the picture?
Yes, like I want it 14 by 6 pixels.
Yes, it's possible. I have not tried it, but I know I have implemented it because in the shop systems you need to have that information anyhow. Yeah, it's possible. Already with the existing system. Well, okay. For me, this slide here, so we had the vision. For those people running such a shop, it's an interesting application. For me, this is the most important slide I can present, because this is a bit funny, you know, making pictures, looks nice, but it's local, and this is the point. What is the advantage of local hosted LLMs compared to Super Claude, Super ChatGPT, and all this stuff? Oh, the local LLMs, open source, are not so good. Yes, they are not so good in certain areas. In some areas, they are almost competitive. Like picture generation, they are competitive. And you are in full control. Let's put it this way. Pros. Fully controlled, privacy, GDPR compliance. Not so unimportant. AI audit is possible. You can audit, make an audit for AI system, which you cannot when you send the information somewhere. You have no cost with API calls. Usually an application, when you develop an application and you are successful with the application, you use it 10,000 times a day or whatever, the cost scaling with that. With local systems, not. No rate limits, you can work offline. It's the best demonstration when you have installed such a local system at a customer side. Then you put out the line cable, it's still working. This is the demonstration which kicks. You don't need this. It works local. Also, you have the model version, what you put in is the model version there. There is no auto update or something in the background you don't know and cannot control. It's what you put in will be there. Okay. Hardware investment, I'll give you some, yeah, Roger?
So how do you keep it safe when it's not running any updates? Like, let's say I'm not an IT human being, so how can I, know that it's safe with all these updates?
Well, a person installing this AI system on a server somewhere. You don't need to be in person there. There are systems which you can safely connect to any server which is there. You don't, let's say, take away information from the server, you just maintain the system. And by this you can, for example, if there's a new open source model which should be installed, then you can do it from everywhere. So you can maintain the system.
So did you set up everything alone?
This?
And your server as well?
Of course. Not a big thing. So this is a good point, because you can make maybe a business out of that. Smaller models need lower quality versus frontier. What are the pros of large LLM systems? You have Claude, GPT, Gemini. It's easy to use. It's convenient, You just you can start. But here we're talking about industrial applications, which should scale, which should grow, which should be GDPR compliant, cannot be done with this. You have automatic model updates on a daily basis. Please update, and you don't know what you will get. You press a button or you get an update, and what is the result? Maybe good, Sometimes, usually it's good, but not always. It's expensive, We had it, with the scaling of this, you can easily, the number of tokens If you have an application, for example, the sourcing application I made with Plutic, I was doing, I need a lot of Google API calls for this, you know, blah, blah, blah. During development, I spent easily for one day €200, bam, 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 done, very fast. This kind of API calls are convenient, but they're also a little bit dangerous. Cons, this is the clear point, privacy. For pictures, like the demonstration what I have made today, not a problem, But if you are a medical doctor, or you're working in a bank, or in governmental areas, stuff like that, this is a big issue. You cannot send something, it's forbidden. In some cases, and I don't want to hide that, open source models are not as good, and even in some areas they are far away from the proprietary systems. But here, if you have this in your company, sitting there, managing your information flow, and you said, but you know, I have here this 100-page PDF, I need to analyze this, and I have here whatever, you know, size of Excel files, I need to analyze that. How you can send it? You can send it from a local LLM, anonymize the data that for patients and all this stuff, there is no naming, there is no person can be recognized on this information. And this can be done 100% sure from local LLM, and then you can send those information to an outside, larger LLM system in those cases where necessary. This means you don't have to be a big server for a local LLM. You just need to have a local LLM system which can manage the requirements to be and safe and can be audited. This is important for this application. I mean, it's in majority people want to make an API calls for all that stuff, you know. But in this specific case, the use case here is picture. But I think you all understand what the background of that is. So, I'm not a coder, I'm 58 years old, I appreciate the attention you pay to this, but when I can do that, you know, as a non-coding guy, everybody of you can do it. Basically, it's a question how much energy you put in. But being structured, know what you want, is one important thing. You cannot start, I want to build something, but I don't know the result, forget it. Being clear what you want, and then you will go to the result with a lot of effort. If you don't know that, you will get nowhere. So this is summarizing the sentence. The tool is not the point. I consider AI and all this stuff just as a tool, you know, like a screwdriver. The problem is the point. You need to understand the business problem. You don't need to code, but it's not bad if you understand something. You need to think. This is important. You need to be clear in mind, I want to have this. Software architecture is the key point. Always in mind, software architecture, software, because this is important. This is your guideline, you know. If you want to do something, start now. In 6 to 8 months, competition will be even stronger. So, here I have this tech stack. Somebody interested in that? Okay. But you can, of course, the presentation we can share, right? After that. Also, this list, you know, I tested more. For example, I tested here for this when I tested smaller version, larger version, and I saw this is good enough. For some other application, I prefer the Gwen 30 is the ATB. This is a better version, but it's too large for this application and not necessary, but the quality is super good. But not necessary. You need to adjust a little bit because this is a family, 2.5, blah, 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 blah. And as larger the number, as better the system is. And the good thing is, I did not raise the point, but what is again good for local LLMs in regard to basically any application? I told you that I built this application Plytic, and some of these areas, when you're going to sourcing in pharmaceutical area, you get in touch with drugs, drug raw materials, dual use materials. And this is not possible with proprietary LLMs. Simply refuse. Oh, there is somebody want to make explosives, drugs. You cannot make the work. So for this application in local LLM systems, obliterated systems available. This means no filter. So no filter means you can do what you want. You are responsible for your stuff. Huh? Still ethical filters are inside. But you can say, I want to have a certain ingredient for drug precursor, which is not possible. The most sensitive proprietary LLM I know is Gemini. It's like, no, you know. But DeepSeek is no problem, more relaxed in this regard. So I tried them all to see what is going. But none of those are using in the other application a different one. So this is the current situation. This are the pros and cons of local versus proprietary LLMs, based on my experience. I'm not an experienced guy, but I made some work on that, so I know a little bit an overview. Here we talk about the quality. This was here. I don't know your name, but you're typing currently on the telephone. What is your name? Here, quality. Tesseract Brossier. So this means it's considered brand recognition, clip embeddings, IP check. So the quality requirements is currently already in. Upscaling, we had this question here, upscaling up to 4K. Sorry, I was lying, I thought it was 8K, but it's possible, you know, to make it, use a different SGRAN model, and then you can upscale it even further. So here you can see how the image generation works, what is the technical stack flow, you know, what kind of software is used for this. This can be, in terms of quality, everything can be done better. Better. For one application, which is very difficult for any picture generator, is, for example, to produce a mountain bike is jumping on a whatever, you know. To build this small, weiß ich mal, was Speicher heißt, the small inside a tire, you know, the small thing, very difficult to make it isolated. Almost impossible right now. Even for Pixie right now, it's not possible. I would need to invest for this specific issue maybe 6 to 8 hours, and then it can be solved. I was not ready to invest that time because it was just a demonstration. But it's possible. For proprietary LLMs, impossible. They cannot do it. They're failing. So here we have the full workflow, input, orchestra, generation, quality, post-processing. So this is for isolation necessary, the software. This is common know-how, you know, it's not super secret or whatever, everybody knows that, working in this. Yeah, you can make a shop automation, this is nice, I tried it already, I made, for this specific, after that, I said, is it working? So I made an Etsy application so I get an API access for Etsy shop. It's great because I was close to the moment that I start this, but I had other stuff to do because it's so nice to do it. You can make all this analysis, getting out the content about the pictures, what is shown there. You can get the sales figures. So it's not super complicated. Really not, but it's nice. Yeah, and then you deliver to the shops, score, later you can make marketing out of that, relatively easy. And that's it. Thank you for your attention.